If you have a website, you may not be getting the conversions from it that you want. This is what today's tutorial is all about. It is Conversion Express, where in 15 minutes or less, you are going to learn website or marketing strategies to get more customers. Today's topic is, what do I change on my website to get more leads? Now, as we get into this topic, it's important to understand human behavior traits, because those human behavior traits, you either work with them on your website copy, or you need to know what you could be doing on your website that could actually be causing those traits to be triggered in a negative way. So one of them is friction. And that means humans are less likely to complete a task the more steps there are involved. I mean, if you think about it, it's really easy to sit on the sofa, grab the remote, and just put it on, compared to training for a marathon. Very, very different amount of effort and steps involved to be able to reach the goal or the outcome you want. Another one, a human trait, is cognitive overload. And that's basically our brains are very limited in the capacity that they have to be able to process information. And so anything where there's a lot of excessive detail, it will cause humans to either freeze or to delay making a decision. Another one, the third one, is having a short attention span. You know this, you probably see it yourself, you may even experience it within. Our environment is creating it so that we get replies quickly, instantaneously. We get results quickly and instantaneously. And so our attention spans have become shortened, which means we're going to lose the interest really quickly if we're not kept engaged. Effort heuristic. This is basically where our brains are signaling, this is too much effort is required for me to understand this, or whatever it may be, to comprehend what you're saying to me. So it can cause impatience, frustration. So you want to avoid something like excessive detail on your website. And lastly, limited working memory. And basically, we're going to forget key details or important information. We get overwhelmed just because there's too much information to try to remember. So key things are going to end up being overlooked or completely missed. So essentially, when you have too much information on your website, two things can happen. One is that humans are going to either abandon your website, and they're going to do this before they fully understand the value that you bring and why you could have been the best choice for them. And secondly, they're going to look elsewhere. They're going to look for a solution that is simpler, that is quicker, that is just going to make life easier for them. And you don't want that. So how can you work within these human traits on your website to get more customers? I'm going to reveal 3 of them to you. So one is that standing out is important. I know this is a term we hear a lot. Stand out from your competition, stand out in the marketplace. But it actually, there's a reason for it, is because our brains will perceive things as being more important than others if it attracts our attention. And it's actually going to influence our decision making as well. So standing out is really important. Now, when you look at this homepage banner of this website, the first thing probably that is standing out to you is this: we are the exterminators. Now, does that thing that is most predominantly standing out here actually influence you to take action? That action doesn't necessarily have to be to click a button. It could be to scroll down, navigate to another page. In other words, is it somehow generating enough interest in you to take action on the website? For me, it is not, and I think for most people it is not. And that is because they've come to this website, they already know who they are. They've navigated to the site somewhere. So this information, we are the exterminators, is absolutely useless information. We already know who you are. This is a very poor example of using standing out to actually engage or influence the visitor to take action. Here's what we could do instead. First of all, instead of that landscape kind of picture we had previously, which actually isn't great if you're an exterminator, if you're a landscaper, that might be better, not as an exterminator. Secondly, Humans will interact and engage with human faces, especially if they're looking for a particular outcome to help them feel better. We want to see happy, smiling people who have had a result that they're looking for, and in their life, they're feeling much better. So that's the first thing I would highly recommend. Next is fix your pest issue today guaranteed. That really speaks to me opposed to we are the exterminator. Why? Because you're telling me why I should care about the fact that you're the exterminator. I should care because you're going to help me get my pest issue fixed today, guaranteed. The other thing is, instead of a contact button, get your home pest free. Remind me of the result that I want. Grab my attention with that. So this is a much better example of trying to stand out, to influence your visitor, to then take additional action. Here is another thing you could do. Chunking, because humans will process information far better and remember it more often if it's organized into small groups. This is called chunking. I'm going to show you an example. So if we look at this residential roof, a part of their on their services page where they're talking about residential roofing, there's a ton of words here. And I can tell you right now, most of your visitors will not read through every single word here. And in fact, that would be a real unfortunate thing because they have several pieces of great information in this paragraph right here that is completely being overlooked. So this is what we're going to do instead, to chunk it, to grab people's attention so they understand why they should choose you. What about if we did this? We're going to add white space. Right here, you see much more white space here. We're going to add these nice colorful bullet points. We're going to, because we've gotten rid of some of the copy and kind of condensed it, we now can use a larger font. We're going to bold words that are important for them, for those people who are coming to your website and they're skimming. And we're going to have this colorful button instead of what they had previously, which was read some of our customer testimonials. We're going to change that to a nice colorful button that's saying nailed it according to our customers, add a little bit of humor in there. And all of these things, we've chunked it now to make it much more readable. And we're going to help those people who are skimmers to skim, capture just the information they're looking for. And the people who want more details, we can give them into more details in the copy, but without overwhelming them by being excessive with the information. And third, simplify. This is very, very, very important because humans will understand and recall information better when it's simple and intuitive. So I'm going to show an example here, Hardwood Plumbing, of their navigation. So this is an example where it's too much information. It's too complex. We've got 7 different buttons, and 3 of those 7, welcome. What does welcome mean? In this case, I knew because I was on the website and kind of fooled around. Welcome was their homepage. They didn't call it home. They just called it welcome. Then they have history and staff. That's too long. Then at the end, they have projects. And this is kind of how it looks like on mobile. This is how it appears on their home page. So let's try and condense this. Let's simplify this navigation so it's easier for people to make a decision and remember information. So let's simplify their navigation by, first of all, creating a logo where they can link the homepage to that logo, because most people intuitively know to click a logo to go back to the homepage. And that allows us to remove that word welcome or home off of our navigation bar. So we've now made it 6 instead of 7. We can leave plumbing, heating, and replace the word and with the and symbol, along with water treatment, leasing, and again, replace financing. And then instead of having the word history and staff, why don't we just change it to about? So now it's far cleaner and simplified of a navigation bar compared to what we had before. Too much information. So I want you to remember it is important that you make it easy for web visitors to capture the most important information, or else you are going to risk losing business. Now that you know how to improve your website to get more business, get more customers calling you, check the next video out where I show you how to use voice of customer data, which can be incredibly effective in getting conversions. In fact, in some studies, it's increased leads by 400% and conversions by 49%. So go and check that out.